So you say?
Hey there, guys. SeAnDawn here.
Happy Friday Live with SeAnDawn.
Happy Friday. How are you? It's not really Friday. It's
I'm
pre-recorded.
good, thanks for asking.
Yeah, I'm okay too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I wish it was Friday.
Me too, actually. I wish it was Friday
not.
too. If it was our Friday, we'd have our granddaughter this afternoon. It'd be great.
True,
We look
that's
forward to
true.
it. All right, let's talk about this week's episode of Things Going On. So, a couple discussion points here. 5 rules for fat loss. So there's 5 different rules that we'll just kind of expand on a little bit here.
Yep.
We're going to give you an update on Shellie, on our cancer update. So that's we have an FU-Cancer throwdown coming. And so we have a nice message from Shellie that Dawn's going to read when we get there. Just some questions and stuff.
Yeah.
Challenge update. So a row challenge for August. We'll talk about our members' birthdays, our featured athlete, and then how to get a hold of us. And hopefully we can keep this to about 10 minutes. That's our goal today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 rules for fat loss.
Yeah, so following along on our kind of continuing nutrition series.
Yeah.
These are good things to remember that you can start today.
Yeah.
Like that anyone can do any day and start now. So
And some of these you help people too,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
the first rule is do not
and
compare.
when we talk about fat loss, just to recap a little bit.
Okay.
So most people's goals for when they come in and want to meet and talk about nutrition, most people, 99% of the time, want to lose weight. And so we always talk about it as fat loss being our priority, like we're trying to lose body fat.
Not
and
muscle.
Show our muscle. Yeah. So we use the in-body
so that we
for
can
that.
look lean.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's what we mean by fat loss. It's not necessarily about the scale. We don't really care about that number so much. It's really about decreasing body fat.
Yeah.
So that you can see muscle definition,
Absolutely.
right? And gain strength at the same time.
So rule 1, do not compare your journey to someone else's. Now, why is that so critical?
Crucial. Well, it's just what everybody does. So, everybody follows their favorite, fitness influencers or nutrition people on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And the common question they always get is, what do you eat in a day? And I get that. I know people ask you that. Our members here all the time, like, just tell me exactly what you eat, and I want to eat that because then I'll be able to look like you or whatever it might be. But it's so important to remember that everybody is so different. So you might see 5 people that you think look exactly the same. However, there might be a 20-pound difference from one person to the next. And so it's not about that number. It's not about what they look like or what they've done, because everyone's journey is so individual. Maybe that person's been working for 10 years and you're brand new to the process. So you can't compare what other people are doing, what they eat, what their macros are, their protein levels. All of that needs to be individualized to you as an individual. And that's just an easy trap to fall into.
Absolutely. In fact, we talked to someone, and that's a big reason for the in-body machine, right? It helps us really figure out who you are underneath your skin.
Yeah.
Right? We could figure out your calories and who you really are.
Yep.
So really good point there. I want you to expand on this next one here. So don't think less of yourself for eating off track. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be. Well,
Yeah.
I don't even like that. The no one's perfect is finding a balance is perfect. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So go.
And so we always talk about there shouldn't be an on track and an off track.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be all in this time and all out this time, right? So it's really about finding the balance that fits for your life. What do you like to eat? What do you need to eat more of? Most people realize this, but you talk to someone, and especially when they're kind of getting started on this nutrition journey, it's almost always, I did really bad yesterday.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time. Don't look at my journal. I ate really bad yesterday. And it's like, no, you didn't eat bad. You just maybe didn't make the best choices for your day, but it's not bad and it's not good. We have to get out of that mentality that these are the good foods, fruits and vegetables and meat, and then everything else is over here. And like I said, it's every single person that I talk to, usually it's like, I don't eat bread, I don't eat sugar, I don't eat gluten, I don't eat dairy.
Because they associate them as bad.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes, because they think that they're the bad foods that are going to make them gain weight.
Yeah.
Untrue.
Untrue. And that's a very good point. And we'll talk about that more. We're more of the mindset of the 80-20 rule.
Yep.
And 80 is just where you're eating the food that that you know is the right food to fuel your body.
Yeah.
The 20% is whatever makes you happy, right? And that's what you work with. So let's going to lead into the next one here. And you deal a lot with this. So there is no best plan for everyone.
Right.
Go.
Yeah. It really needs to be, like we said, an individualized approach. So we take that in-body scan and we read through those results, and we help come up with a sustainable plan of action for that individual based on those numbers. So first we start with the basal metabolic rate, which shows us how much you burn just at rest based on what muscle you already carry on your frame. So we start with that as our baseline, and then we can kind of figure out with activity level where sort of our starting calories should be. And so then it's a matter of just starting to track and be intentional and noticing and kind of having being able to have a kind of a running value or total in your mind of where you're at during the day. But it's so different for each person.
And just along that line, and I'll queue up this next one for you, is we don't prescribe, keto or Whole30 or vegan. It's whatever you like to eat, right? It's individualized plans. So it's if you want to eat keto, you can do that.
We don't call it a diet.
We don't call it just your lifestyle.
It's not about restriction.
And so your whole thing is mentoring people to make their lifestyle work and educating them on that. So
something that's sustainable.
The next one here, there is no such thing as too little progress. I know you get this a lot from people like, it's only 1 pound or only 2 pounds or whatever.
Yeah. So any progress is good progress, because I always say, so maybe this cycle for over 3 months, maybe you saw 5 pounds on the scale. Maybe that was your total weight loss. However, when we look at the scan at the end, maybe it shows that you gained 2 pounds of muscle, lost 4% body fat, dropped your visceral fat by 3 points. Increased your basal metabolic rate, so now you're burning more calories because you carry more muscle. All of that is far more important to us. So little progress is still progress, right? There's no, like we talked about last week, there's no finish line. So when they get disappointed, like, I only lost 5 pounds, it's like, well, tell me the last time that you lost 5 pounds and were able to sustain it, right, for a period of time. And then they think, and it's like, oh yeah, I haven't done that for a long time. It's usually I gain, I lose, I gain, I lose, I gain, I lose. Well, appropriate weight loss is really 1/2 pound up to 1.5 or 2 pounds for someone who has a lot of weight to lose. But even for someone with a lot of weight to lose, 1.5 to 2 pounds a week is perfect. And you might have a couple weeks where you don't see any change.
Yeah, or maybe
that
see a little
that doesn't mean that all those other numbers aren't changing for us.
Exactly. And we keep on promising to bring some clients on that you worked with, and we're just trying to schedule a coordination and sit down with them, which, as you can imagine, it's a little bit of herding cats, but we're working on that. All right, so my favorite tip here, and we'll talk about this, is eat the damn brownie. You're going to be fine. That restrictive mindset is one you don't want, and why?
Because the more you restrict, the far higher likelihood that you will at some point fall off that wagon, right? You can only be 100% all the time. Pretty soon you're going to have a wedding to go to, you're going to have a vacation, you're going to have a birthday, you're going to have some event or some social gathering where all of a sudden those cravings hit you, or maybe it's just going to hit you when you're home alone or you're bored or lonely, whatever. You're better off if you're having a craving, just eat the thing that you're craving, and then move on. It's not going to derail your progress. You're going to be fine. I saw something today that was really good, just to tag onto this. If you're having a craving, how do you determine if it is like you're actually wanting it, your body actually wants it, or you're just bored?
I think I saw this before. Wasn't it like waiting like 30 minutes or something?
There's that one, but this guy was saying, it was just a meme or whatever, but he said, if you are actually hungry, tell yourself you're going to eat an apple. And if you're like, I don't want an apple, well, then you're really not hungry.
Oh, that's a very good point.
So interesting.
And I think that goes back to the eat the damn brownie, the 80-20 rule, right? Yeah. The 20 is the brownie, is the cookie, and the other stuff. The problem is people usually go 60-40 one week, and then 100% the following week, and then 50-50 the next week, and then You know, they try to go 100%. And if you're doing the percent math here, you realize they haven't hit 80-20.
Right.
Right? It's better to find that balance week in and week out. And then you'll be able to enjoy each week, have things to look forward to, and be lifetime success. So if you're interested in anything else on that, we will continue to talk on it, and Dawn will sit down with you and explain all kinds of things, and we like to educate.
Yeah, so along that, real quick with nutrition stuff, I have 5 clients that are in the process of graduating out of my program, and so 5 spots will be open going into the fall. So if that's you and you want to secure one of those spots, I only take 10 to 12 clients at a time because it takes a lot of time.
It's very time consuming on your part.
We have 5 more openings coming up there, and then we'll go to a wait list. So.
All right, now Shellie update here. I'm going to have a photo of Shellie over here and her family, or maybe down here. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet. But Dawn has some questions that she sent to Shellie. She's going to read them out and read Shellie's response, just so you get to know a little bit more about Shellie here.
Yeah, so I reached out to Shellie, sent her some questions that I thought would be helpful for everyone to kind of get to know Shellie. If you don't normally come at the class that she comes to, and her husband, you might not know much about her. So I wanted her, in her own words, to share some of her story that she was comfortable with. We tried to bring her on camera, but timing-wise, it was just not working out.
She's doing some treatment and stuff,
she's doing some testing and whatnot. So we're going to go with this option instead. So just so you know, these are all in Shellie's words, and I'll just read through what she wrote. So, I am Shellie. Scott and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary in June. We have 2 daughters, Sierra and Sage. They're 20 and 17. They've been members of SK for 4 years. Sierra was a CrossFit teen for a few years before we joined. We attend the 5:30 p.m. class 4 days a week. We enjoy our workouts as they are a priority for our health. Even through injuries, we have continued to attend class, and it's important to us. Unfortunately, my health has been an unwelcome diversion. In January 2021, I had a partial thyroidectomy as a result of a suspicious nodule in my neck. At the end of January, I found it was papillary thyroid cancer. In February, I went back into surgery to have the remaining thyroid removed, called a completion. In April, I went through the treatment for thyroid cancer. It consisted of a special no iodine diet for several weeks. Long story short, I took a radioactive iodine pill and had to self-isolate from all human contact, including my cat. I received the all clear on June 2nd. I had officially kicked thyroid cancer's ass. Yay. In early June, so just this past June, she met with her primary care physician for a follow-up on an injury, and Shellie mentioned that she had found a lump in her breast. And Shellie says, this is where things started getting weird for me. Her doctor then ordered a mammogram. After receiving my mammogram that included an ultrasound, the radiologist told me she was 95% sure that it was now breast cancer. 2 days later, I was back in the ultrasound where they took 16 core biopsies from 3 different sites. All I can say is thank you for lidocaine. My world then changed on June 14th. I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma. We then told our girls the probability of breast cancer prior to the pathology report, as I was an emotional roller coaster. The girls were super supportive and took the information and said, what's next? It's time to kick cancer's ass again. I met with my surgical oncologist and plastic surgeon in late June. Mastectomy of left breast was scheduled for July 7th. Unfortunately, the pathology report came back with a positive margin in 2 areas. I then went back into surgery on July 20th. The pathology report revealed the cancer was more prevalent than originally thought. A total of 4 tumors were identified. These results obviously were less than desirable. I now face chemo, radiation, and hormonal therapy, and the reconstruction will wait. Last week, followed up with a surgeon oncologist. My drain was removed and I finally have clear margins. I had to have a port implanted under my skin for ease of chemo access. I meet with my medical oncologist tomorrow. I am hoping I will get a better understanding of my chemo schedule. I will also find out my pathology stage. My prognosis, I feel, is good. I plan to beat this and be better for it. And she put that in bold writing. It appears that the majority of the surgeries are finished for now. That is great news. Once I am released, I will be back in the gym, which is my happy place. What helps me the most during this time? Scott is my strength and source of zen. He has continued to maintain his schedule at the gym. This has helped him process and release the stress of my diagnosis. Every time he goes, he asks me to come along and just ride the bike. Working out together is a great way to share a mutual goal and support each other. How am I staying strong and hopeful? Well, I am a positive person. I feel attitude is half the battle. I already beat one cancer. Why not 2 cancers in 1 year? I find it humbling to find that there are a lot of people in my circle of friends that are touched by someone fighting cancer. These individuals have touched my life in ways I never thought would be. I am thankful for their friendships and willingness to share their story. Storm King has been and continues to be an important part of my well-being. It has improved my health, my mental health, and self-worth. While I still have a few goals I have put on hold temporarily, like climbing that rope, they still remain goals. The road ahead is a long one. I am up for the challenge, one step at a time.
I like the way she signed it.
And yeah, and you want to read how she signed it?
She says, Shellie Hunter, thyroid cancer survivor, then future and bold breast cancer survivor. And that's the right attitude. And I tell you, Shellie, we all are thinking of you. We miss you. We know you have this. We know you're going to beat this. And that's what we're here to do, is support it.
Yeah.
It's just emotional when you read that stuff, you know.
Yeah,
so we have
that's
that throwdown going for Shellie.
August 21st is the date of our throwdown. So we have about 2.5 weeks still for teams to get registered. So a reminder, it's teams of 4, 2 guys, 2 girls. However, a lot of people don't have 2 guys, 2 girls combo, and they have 3 ladies and 1 dude, or 3 dudes and 1 lady. We don't care.
We'll make it work.
We want everybody to participate. So if your team is not matched up 2 by 2, still register with your teammates, and it's going to be a great fun day.
Like our team, 2 people that typically do CrossFit with 2 people that typically do boot camp. It doesn't matter, right? We're going to go there. We're going to support Shellie. We're going to sweat a little bit, have some fun, hopefully have some high fives. So please come out and support her.
We have a pre-sale for t-shirts, and they will say FU-Cancer, and then in the back it'll say #ShellyStrong, which is the name of this event, Shellie Strong. So if you would like a t-shirt, maybe you can't compete that day, but you want to support them, please get your name on the pre-order list for a t-shirt. We'll hopefully have those in by the throwdown. And that's another great way to support. We're also taking donations that day. Every dollar that comes in, either that day, through the t-shirt sales, through the registrations, it all goes to Scott and Shellie. So help us support their family. They're competing that day too. They have a team with their daughters and whatnot. So excited about that. It'll be a great day.
So right now, our challenge update, we're in the month of August, and then we have a team or individual accumulate the most meters as a group. I tell you, my hamstrings
it's getting real.
It's getting real.
It's August 4th. We're only 4 days into this challenge.
Those rollers
some teams, I would say, are like probably over 100,000 already.
I would say
in
that
4 days.
I would say that there are some teams that are there.
Who knows how many meters
It'll be
this will
exciting.
end up at.
Hey,
but this is fun. I love seeing everybody get in the gym.
Comment below if you can guess what the highest meter is going to be in teams. I'm curious to go where we're at. Member birthdays, why don't you cue those up?
Member birthdays, we have Eli, Shannon Curry, and Crystal. Crystal Rodman.
Our featured athlete, love him to death, JD. We see JD every morning coming in. He's on his bike. That guy is so dedicated.
So consistent.
And just, if you haven't ever met JD, he is just a great guy, great personality, good person to communicate with. He holds down the fort here in the morning. He does. He's in charge of the door going down. He knows that. Lastly, guys, if you're interested in hearing more about us, or you want to, just sit down and talk to us. If you follow these instructions overhead, you go to Storm King Athletic Club. You got the free intro. If you're a member, you'll click on the member. If you're a non-member, you click on a non-member. You'll find a time that works for you. schedule it. We'll see you up here, and we'll talk through things and see if we make a connection.
Yep.
So get out there, have fun, come in and support Shellie. Let's get the rowing. Happy Friday.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you.